What's up you guys, it's Chile. Today I'm going to be doing a recipe that's not necessarily the easiest, but it's really yummy, super good for around the holidays. It's green bean casserole. I'm making the vegan version, of course. You do whatever you feel most comfortable with, adjust as needed. For my recipe today, I'm going to be using some leftover fried onions from a restaurant that my family went to recently. I just don't want them to go to bad, so I'm refrying them right now, waiting for my oil to heat up, and then we'll get into the rest of the recipe. Do background sounds because I don't know how to put music here, but So the first thing that you want to make for this recipe is going to be getting together like some garlic and mushrooms, cooking in a cast iron skillet. If you don't have one, you can go ahead and just use a normal skillet. But I have olive oil in here, 2 tablespoons, and right now my garlic is kind of just cooking in there. I'm only going to do it for like 3 minutes. If you're using fresh mushrooms, you'd also chop them up and go ahead and throw them in it right now. But mine are just out of a can because we're doing poor man's version today, just like most of my recipes pretty much have ended up being. Okay, so I have my mushrooms added in. The next thing you're going to do is take a 1/4 cup of flour and just kind of sprinkle it over everything. And be really careful with the oil. Like, don't let it splash you. If it's popping too much, just turn your heat down. I'm going to spread out the flour, mix it into all of the mushrooms. And shortly after, you're going to take a full cup of vegetable broth and just pour a little bit of it at a time while you're mixing. You'll see it start to thicken, and that's what you want. This is supposed to kind of make it into like a sauce-like, like if you've ever had non-vegan green bean casserole, you know how it's kind of like thick and creamy because you put like cream of mushroom and stuff. It'll be like that, hopefully, if we do this right. And we stir. P.S. It should look like this. After you have all the vegetable broth all mixed in, the next thing you're going to put is 1.5 cups of your plant milk. And again, I would just do it a little at a time to give it a chance to like stay thick. Or drop your spoon. Guess what? It's stirring time again. So we stir and stir. Add a little bit more of our plant milk or your normal milk, whichever you want. Then we stir some more. Pour a little more. Stir it again. And I'm gonna be honest, this is the best sauce I've ever made in my life. I usually burn them. Woo! Okay, so as you can see, the sauce is pretty saucy. Right now it's not thick anymore. And I went ahead and only used a cup of milk instead of the 1.5 cups, just because I'm not using as many ingredients as I thought I was. But you can go ahead and like season it too with a little salt. Mine, since I use vanilla almond milk, tastes a little sweet, but it's good, and it didn't ruin the flavor or anything. And remember, I'm working out of cans today because poor man's method. But after you have it all sauced up, you can go ahead and just add in your green beans. If you want to do fresh, by all means, go for it. Just make sure you cook them first. And you want to do about 1/3 of your fried onions. So I know usually I'm making mine just from like the restaurant fried onions that I have that I refried. But if you are using the ones out of like the little boxes that they sell, then that's totally fine too. So I'm just gonna use my fingers here. They're mostly clean. And I think that's about 1/3. So you just mix everything in. Make sure it's all creamy. Okay, so once you have the onions mixed in, go ahead and put the rest on top. We're just gonna kind of fling them in there. I do not. You just want to kind of spread them out around the top the best you can. And they'll bake once you put them in the oven. So we'll put it in the oven for about 15 minutes at 400. It's been preheating this whole time. And use your mitts if it's cast iron, because this boy hot. I thought I finally did a really good job plating, and then nope, that little piece fell off the side. Alright, so I cooked mine for 15 minutes, took it out of the oven, just let it sit there on the oven, or stove I guess, to cool off a little bit. I went ahead and served myself a little bit, so I'm gonna taste it and see how it goes. And I can smell the sweetness from the flavored milk, so if that's gonna bother you, I highly recommend you use unsweetened. Okay, this is on point though. Texture, I can taste the onions and the mushrooms making me happy. And the green beans are, I mean, they were in a can, so they're obviously cooked. No, I like it. The sweetness doesn't really bother me that much, so let me know if you tried it, how yours came out, and what other recipes I should do. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you next time. Show your friends that you think you would like seeing these recipes too, and maybe drop a like or become one of my subbies. That'd be fun. But I'll see you next time. Bye. If you want to make custom music for me, send me a message so that I can have some real nice boom, 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 boom right here. That'd be cool. Okay, thanks.